The president did the right thing yesterday evening. He put on more screws with regard to people that come into this country, no pun intended. Banned from Europe. I don't understand why there's a exception for the United Kingdom other than we both speak English, because a lot of people come through Europe, through London. So he needs to shore that one up. But he did take certain precautions. But I have to hearken back to what's really at issue here. Why didn't the United States, why didn't the president have warning of what was going on in China? Where were our Central Intelligence Agency, our Director of National Intelligence, the FBI? We have these surveillance capabilities. We certainly train them against the American people. In fact, I've gotten 2 preliminary injunctions for mass surveillance against the American people without probable cause, when there's no crime that's being committed and no contact with terrorists. Yet, for some reason, our intelligence agencies again dropped the ball, like they did with weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, like they've done on several other occasions. So one has to ask the question, why didn't the United States have more warning? Or did we have more warning? Was it the deep state that still continues to be controlled by the likes of John Brennan, former CIA director under Obama, and James Clapper, former director of national intelligence? Their minions are still in control. This is the deep state. Did they withhold that information from President Trump to undermine his presidency? And make no mistake about it, this coronavirus has a real effect, possible effect, of the president losing the next election, which is why we need to address this issue. And we need to get reasons and answers as to why we have this crisis today. So yesterday, I filed Freedom of Information Act requests. You see, we do that too. Judicial Watch did that. I taught Fitton and Company how to do that. But it's not enough just to get the documents. And we will get documents concerning what the government knew and when it knew it, and to use the word government very loosely. But then, contrary to Judicial Watch, under Fitton, what will we do then? We'll bring hard-hitting cases. And the cases that we're going to bring, and we're going to not even wait for the documents, is against China itself. That's communist China. Because whether this release of the coronavirus was intentional or whether it was accidental, China should have to pay for the damage in the United States. Now, let's say that this stuff came from a bioweapon facility in Wuhan. We know that China has one. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe it got out. Certainly it's harmed people in China. One would suggest it probably was an accident. However, bioweapons are prohibited by the Geneva Convention and other international conventions. It's in fact a terrorist weapon. So there'd be no immunity to bring lawsuits for those who have been exposed, those who have been infected, the families of those who died. And we have an opportunity here because China has a tremendous amount of assets in this country, huge amount of investment, and we could collect on the judgment. Now, the only way that we can prevent this from happening again is to really sock China. And if you really want to do a number on trade with China and bring factories back here and production back here, let's bring the Chinese, the communist Chinese, to their knees economically. So I propose that you support Freedom Watch, because Freedom Watch will bring these lawsuits. We are the only ones that have the guts to do it. We're the only ones that will take the risk. I've already gotten calls, threatening me on my cell phone for even suggesting this. And some of these calls, I think, came from communist China. They're in Chinese. And I like Chinese people, by the way. I got to tell you, I do. Particularly Chinese Americans who came here to look for freedom. So we should not hold this against the Chinese people, but the Chinese government is responsible, and we will hold them accountable. And it's time that we fight back. And we're probably going to be fighting our own government in this regard. I would suspect to see our so-called Department of Justice intervene on behalf of the government of China. So we need a war chest here. I want you to contribute to our cause. This is the biggest issue today. We went through witch hunts with regard to Russia, with regard to the Ukraine, an attempted impeachment and conviction, and we took our eye off the ball. I predicted something like this was going to happen. In many ways, this is worse than an accidental nuclear explosion like Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island, what happened in the past. That's isolated. But this crisis is worldwide. It threatens all of humanity. We don't know the full extent of it now. And I wouldn't downplay it. And the president's no longer downplaying it. And that's good. And we urged him not to do that. Those commentators who downplay it right now are not doing a service to the American people or to the world. Of course, we consider ourselves the most important because we are. We protect ourselves. Those who take care of themselves take care of what needs to be done. But we need that support from you right now because we are in a crisis. It came upon us through bad intelligence from the CIA, from the Director of National Intelligence, from the FBI. What were they doing other than trying to remove the President of the United States with illegal warrants, with Steele dossiers and everything else? This is where this comes and it merges what's going on in this country today. And forget about the Nancy Pelosi's, forget about the Adam Schiffs, forget about the Gerald Nadlers, forget about the squad who has been completely discredited. They've gone down the drain along with Bernie Sanders. We now need to take care of ourselves. So go to Freedom Watch USA, contribute to our cause, contribute to your own safety, you and your family and your loved ones, because we will fight back for you. We are your Justice Department. We're unafraid. Yes, we get documents, but we also bring hard-hitting cases. And with God's grace, we will prevail. So go to freedomwatchusa.org and contribute. Join our Justice League. Be part of this defense for our safety and well-being. And take the aggressive stance. And get up off the couch. Put the popcorn down. Put the Diet Coke and the beer down and join Freedom Watch in this quest. So I urge you also to share this podcast. You can find it at radioamerica.com. You can find it at freedomwatchusa.org. Go there primarily. Go to Spotify. Go to Facebook. Go to Amazon Fire. You can find it on Roku. You can find it on Patreon. Get the word out. We need to be proactive here. We need to fight back. We need to do it for ourselves. Our so-called government will not do it for us. Our president will. But the rest of government is against him, and it's against us. That's my message for today. I want to God bless you. God bless your family. Keep your family safe and well, and keep my family safe and well, and everyone in this world, because we face a worldwide crisis, but we have to deal with it first at home. Until tomorrow, God bless you again, because we need his help. And thank you for listening.